New research from the Australian Institute reveals that Australians are buying more clothes per person than any other country. Australians have now overtaken the US as the world's largest consumer of textiles per capita, with a significant portion of this consumption being fast fashion that ultimately ends up in landfills. The Wire's Vanessa Gatica speaks with Nina Gober from the Australian Institute about the detrimental impact of this consumerism on both health and the environment.
What specific factors contribute to Australia becoming the world's largest consumer of textiles per capita?
Well, fast fashion is becoming cheaper and cheaper. We have now called ultra fast fashion brands like Shein and Temu, who are like next generation fast fashion because they manufacture quicker, they manufacture more, and then they're far cheaper. For that reason, Australians are buying a lot of fast fashion. I think Australians are more addicted to fashion and fast fashion than other countries. And we have a little bit of a higher standard of living. Even though we have a cost of living crisis, we have a little bit of a higher standard of living than other countries. So we have a little bit more disposable income that unfortunately we're spending on fast fashion.
Can you elaborate on how fast fashion impacts both the environment and public health in Australia?
Yes, so the environmental impact is that majority of fast fashion is made from plastic, which comes from petroleum, fossil fuels. And plastic has a lot of toxic chemicals. It sheds microplastics into the oceans and into the environment, but it has, toxic chemicals such as PFAS and other things that have been known to cause cancer when they accumulate in the system, and other illnesses, like migraines, skin irritations, infertility, birth defects, and many other issues.
What steps can individuals take to reduce their fashion-related waste?
So whenever you buy things, I think people can use them for longer periods of time rather than just buy and throw away. And I understand because, I've mentioned the cost of living crisis. It's not easy for people to buy clothing that's better made and more, higher quality. It's more expensive. But what they can do is they can host and attend clothes swaps, in their local communities, in their neighborhoods, in their workplaces and in their schools, exchange clothing, because that secondhand clothing, there's a reduction of microplastics. There's a reduction of chemicals in some cases, toxic chemicals in some cases. So those are better options, buy secondhand, op shop, and create clothes swaps and attend clothes swaps. I think those are ways that we can circumvent excessive consumption and use the things that you have for much, much longer. Buy less, use longer, swap and exchange. And then when you're buying, if you can find your items that you need secondhand, let that be the first point of call before, if you have a no option, then maybe buy fast fashion.
What role do you believe businesses, consumers, and the government should each play in addressing the fast fashion waste crisis?
Well, the government needs to put a levy or tax on fast fashion because it's just way too cheap. You have fast fashion brands like Shein selling a pair of jeans for $7. And then, selling coats. Temu is selling coats for like $2.50. I've seen these adverts myself. So the government needs to put a levy on fast fashion. So we recommend about $10, which is based on the amount that the French government is putting on fast fashion. And that will slow down consumption. Most hopefully, that money can go into creating a better circular textiles industry in Australia. So, for example, investing in Australian businesses that are manufacturing the right way, using good quality materials, and also, using chemicals that are not toxic, creating products that can be composted at the end of the day. So that's what we want. We want the money that's going into fast fashion to be invested into Australian brands, right? And we know that it's expensive at the beginning, but I think eventually if we have a lot more brands in Australia who are manufacturing the right way and the government is investing into them and supporting them, it will become more affordable. Okay, another thing that the government needs to do is the government needs to ban the export of fashion waste. And we need to ban textile export waste because it's cheaper for us to export it than process it here in Australia. But what we're doing is it's filling up the landfills in countries in the global south. It's polluting beaches, it's making people sick, it's polluting the land, and it's not fair, it's not right. I think we need to manage our waste ourselves. If we ban the export of textile waste, that would incentivize us and force us to create more recycling, onshore recycling facilities, and also force us to look at reducing our waste from the start. So we need to act fast and make sure these things are happening.
I am Vanessa Gatica for The Wire, speaking with Nina Gabor, the director of the Circular Economy and Waste Program at the Australian Institute.
That was Nina Gabor from the Australian Institute speaking with The Wire's Vanessa Gatica.